people had dogs. They had big dogs. I was attacked by 2 dogs at the same time. I'm like, oh my gosh. And thank God I had my grandfather's umbrella. I had to jump on the hood of the car, and with that long black umbrella, I had to poke and stiff. I mean, it was either eaten or beaten. I was not going to be a dog's Alpo that day. So I had to fight. I just had my umbrella just sticking. And then I think I poked a dog in the mouth because the dog was like, arr, 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 arr. And then the owner finally came out the house. I don't know where the owner was. Obviously, he didn't have his door locked. And as a result of that, I had a fear of big dogs for years. So, because that happened to me personally, that's historical data for me. Because the trauma affected me personally. It was directed toward me. So my beliefs expected as reality going through life based on the historical data of being attacked by dogs, it triggered anxiety whenever I saw big dogs for years. And let me tell you, my urbanites, I would have nightmares of walking up the street. It was on Tuckerman Street in Northwest DC. Yep, Tuckerman Street. All my dreams centered around walking up Tuckerman Street and being chased by dogs because I had fear based on what happened to me personally. That's the historical data. So remember I said that there are 3 data points where we have our beliefs expected as reality. So the next data point that can trigger anxiety is, what if someone saw me being attacked by a dog and being mauled by a dog? Now, it didn't happen to them specifically, but they personally witnessed it. And from their personal experience of witnessing what happened to them, they now may be frightened by huge dogs. So every time they see a big dog, their belief expected as reality says to them, this dog is going to attack me because I saw what happened to little Lisa on the street. Now, if that dog attacked little Lisa, that dog can attack me. So remember, we have 3 data points, okay? Now, the third data point, which can shape our B.E.A.R system, I call it the B.E.A.R effect, is the hear-saw data. Now, the hear-saw data doesn't mean you were physically there, but you heard about it or saw it through a third party, such as the media or something like that. So this is how the hear-saw data works. So say, for instance, you are used to walking up Tuckerman Street, okay? And you read in the newspaper that little Lisa was mauled by 2 dogs. Guess what you may do as a result of reading that or seeing that? You may change your routine and your route and not walk up Tuckerman Street. Why is that? Because you expect your belief system, you expect to be attacked based on what you read, based on what you saw through a third party, that you would be attacked. So you're going to change your routine based on that, and it may trigger anxiety. So all of these things can trigger anxiety, these traumatic events. But guess what? Your belief system can be faulty, because I feared every single big dog. And what I thought would happen to me was, I thought even in my 20s, even in my early 30s, maybe, that I would get attacked by big dogs based on the historical data. And it was very faulty thinking. So, guess what would happen to me when I saw a big dog? I would start sweating a little bit. I would walk across the street to get away from the dog because my belief system, I went back to that moment where those two dogs attacked me at the age of 10. It was awful, 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 awful. So, as a result of that, I understand now that our beliefs can be very faulty, and then they can trigger anxious thoughts or our anxiety. So remember, you have the historical data, you have the witness data, and you have the hearsay data. Remember, the historical data is if the traumatic experience happened to you personally, you may have been the target of that event. The witness data is you witnessed it, you were there, you witnessed it, but you were not necessarily the target of the event. And then the hearsay data basically is you heard it from a third party, or you saw it, whether someone talked to you about it in the neighborhood that said, you know what, don't go down Tuckerman Street because little Lisa got mauled by dogs. So guess what you're going to do? You're going to change your routine because you're like, you know what? I fear, because that is fear, I fear going down Tuckerman Street as a result of what happened to little Lisa. But there's no real basis to you going on Tuckerman Street and dogs attacking you. So that was crazy. Curtis, have you ever been attacked by dogs or anything like that?
No, I've never been attacked by a dog. I've never been attacked by a dog. But it's the same thing, similar to when black people get filed by the police. They're
Uh-huh.
saying, like, as soon as you see the police car behind you, you think something bad is going to happen.
I-
So that's what I equate it with. Like,
yes.
instead of dogs, I see it as like the police. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? When you
Exactly. Exactly. Your beliefs expected as reality. So based on what happened in the past, or based on what you saw, or based on what you read through social media, if the police is going to come behind you, you're going to be like,
yeah,
uh-oh,
you
what's
tense up.
happening? And you're going to get a little anxious.
Hmm.
You're going to get a little anxious. But guess what? That police may not even be thinking about you.
True.
That police may be thinking about going home. That police may be thinking about I'm hungry. That police may not be thinking about you at all. But it's your belief system that you expect as reality that police is going to pull you over, stop you for whatever reason.
Can we say the same thing about like how our less melanated friends think about black people when they walk across the street?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The media, that's the hearsay.
Hmm.
So based on what they have seen via the media, they're like, oh my gosh, clutch my purse. Oh my God. Because even in their mindset, they have a level of anxiety. It's triggering anxiety to them.